Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. This is a show about nonprofits and community groups that are doing things to make your community a better place. Tonight, we're going to be talking with the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center, and here representing the Chamber are Allison Hart, the CEO. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you.
And Heidi Byerly, who's a program coordinator for their Bicycle Tourism Initiative. Thanks for being here. Allison, you've been on several times before.
Yes, I have.
Tell us, for people that maybe don't know about the Chamber, just a little bit about the Chamber, if you could, and why this bicycle tourism initiative is important.
Sure, well, it's nice to be back and visit with you. The Chamber is a private nonprofit business association, and one of our goals is to promote economic development in the region and promoting our community. And so the Bicycle Tourism Initiative came out of the idea of growing our community and spending in the community as well as promotion therein and tourism.
Right.
And so we came together to make this this particular initiative, which engages a diverse coalition of East County businesses, cities, public agencies, and nonprofit organizations in collaboration to leverage resources here in the region to do economic development and job growth by increasing bicycle tourism on the beautiful trails and assets that we have in the region.
This is a great area to bicycle in, and you see people biking all the time. I know my boss bikes from Southwest Portland quite often to work.
Heidi is a bike commuter as well.
See, and a lot of people do that, so it's a great area to do that, but you're going to go beyond that and let people know about things that it's not just biking to work, it's not just day biking, you're going to expand on that.
Right, our idea is to grow the number of overnight visitors in the area, and our region, and we have a map of the region.
Maybe we can take a look at that.
Yeah, that is actually beyond just the Gresham, Troutdale, Fairview, Wood Village area, but stretches up into Cascade Locks and Corbett and what have you, because we know that there are so many regional assets that we need to not only look at our area, but what's our neighboring counties, Hood River and Clackamas, right, and a whole variety of things. And so we have this grant to work on the program to grow the visitation to the area. And Heidi will give a lot more detail about our market and how we're going about doing that.
Okay. Now, I don't know if they showed the map here that you were talking about, but this is a wide area that you're going to cover. So, and I imagine that you did a lot of work to plan this ahead of time. How much went into planning this whole thing? This whole
Do you want to talk about that, Heidi?
Well, we spent the first 6 months of our project, started in July, doing outreach and research to make sure that we had engaged a diverse group of people in the project and they were aware of what was happening, and then researching to figure out what the plans are that already exist and other activities and marketing approaches that are happening in the area. And then we took all that information and funneled it into our bicycle tourism strategy report, which we shared with the public on February 19th.
Okay, so I know in the Portland area, biking is a real big deal, and people always think of Portland as being such a bike-friendly city. Gresham really is too, but obviously you're going to bump that up a bit. What's it like does that compare to the rest of the state? I mean, how are people bikers all over Oregon? Is that
well,
a trend?
The Mount Hood Gorge region, of which this area is a part, it's a travel Oregon region, has the highest percentage of bicycle-related travel in the state.
Really?
It comes in at almost 15%, where in other regions it's lower. I think in the Portland area, it's only in the 2% range.
Wow.
So there's one thing that we definitely have a lot of is day road riders. We have a huge amount of people who come out for day road rides, and the way travel is calculated in the state, that doesn't account for the people who might not travel 50 miles from home for a day ride. So
Wow.
the visitation that we get in the area is much greater.
Well, there's a lot to see out here.
There is.
There's a lot to see out here. So you want to encourage people to come out here, you said, and stay overnight. How are you doing the marketing for this? I mean, obviously, come on, you'll talk about it here. I know it's on your website, and I noticed also there was a picture of you right on the.
I know,
right
and
on
you
the
know what's
front
great
there.
is I don't really ride my bike, and Heidi has encouraged me, so because I figured if we were going to do this initiative that I at least needed to try some of the trails. So I have ridden the Springwater round
Good,
trip
yeah.
from Portland,
Good.
and I rode up the gorge on the new part of the trail that stays off 84. So
And they're eventually going to go across the bridge, right? With it, is that
right.
the plan
So
up there? Yeah.
one of the
Great.
things that's really important in this initiative that we were looking at is that we want to leverage existing resources rather than create new, because there actually is a lot of biking resources out there and a lot of people who are working on bicycle tourism. And so in our research, we really spend a lot of time to look at what's out there. So we'll be leveraging existing resources like
Good.
the Ride Oregon ride site through Travel Oregon, but there are some basic things that we're doing in the beginning of our strategy that we came out with from our research, and we're going to be championing a bicycle-friendly business program to get businesses engaged, and this is where the chamber part comes in.
And what does that mean to be a bicycle-friendly
well, what it
business?
means is businesses that are providing services that bicyclists would need and want, and so that they know they're encouraged to come there, because bicyclists tend to spend a fair amount when they're in a community.
Yeah.
And so we're going to work on a program for that. We're also going to, just for the summertime, we're going to identify 3 routes to promote in the region. We're going to be leveraging our current marketing that we have through web, online resources, social media, and that type of thing, to talk about what's out here. There's the Springwater Trail, there's the Gresham Fairview Trail, there's, the old Columbia Gorge Highway, the
Right.
historic highway. I mean, there's so many opportunities. And we're also going to be looking at laying a foundation for some type of biking event in 2015. And there are some that actually take place out here, like cyclocross in November at McMinimans Edgefield. And then we'll be working with probably our regional partners, the cities, the jurisdictions, what have you, to look at what facilities we really need to grow, whether that be more bathrooms, more stops, things like that.
right.
So it's very grand scope, the project, and there's a lot of different areas. But I'd like if we can have Heidi talk a little bit about our routes that we're looking at.
Yeah, because I'm familiar with the Springwater Trail, and I haven't ridden the whole thing like you have. I've ridden parts of it here and there, but tell me about these they're not new routes, but tell us what you're going to be really promoting to the public.
Well, I think one of the important parts of how we're planning to grow bike tourism in the region has to do with our target markets. So I had mentioned earlier that we already see a lot of day road riders in
Right.
the area. So we're going to continue to work with those day road riders, but we're really looking more locally in the surrounding Portland metro region and neighbors to draw people out onto these routes. And so one of the things that we're looking at to promote as part of the routes is kind of off the beaten path experiences or discovering something new in your backyard. So one of the routes we'll be looking at for the summer will be one of those off the beaten path types of experiences. And for something that is immediately available, an example of what that might be would be a mountain biking trail that people maybe are not very familiar with
Right.
in the East Multnomah County area. And then families are a really important market that we're looking at. They tend to be the types that spend the most per trip, and they also stay overnight more often than any other
And you see
bicycle
more
travel
and more families
market.
out there with their little, either hauling kids along,
They're
or they're
burly.
Yeah. I mean, big, huge groups of families going everywhere on their bikes. So that's perfect.
Yeah. So having a family-friendly route, or looking at how family-friendly our itineraries are, is an important part of that route. So a trail like the Springwater, the Gresham Fairview would fit that category.
Right.
And then we'd also be looking at promoting a great day road ride kind of trip or experience that could be paired with other activities for overnights, but something that really ups the ante on a challenging ride or a really spectacularly scenic ride or
Something that
of
makes it
nature.
stand out.
And we'll be calling out businesses along the way, like if there's a watering hole that has great beer or things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. And that's where the economic development piece comes in. And we'll be, with our routes, we'll be coupling that with businesses or experiences. Maybe you ride your bike and you go pick berries, or you go to a farm or
cool.
something like that. And so
And
it's
I
making
assume-
it a whole package so that people are interested and they realize, wow, this was so great. Maybe I want to come back
Right.
or extend it and do one day here and then the next day over here.
Well, you've kind of taken some of the guesswork out of it for people. It's like, okay, I know now there's a place I can go to the bathroom. There's a place I can get something to eat or drink. There's, a place for the kids to, get off their bikes for a little bit and run around. I assume when you go that these businesses are going to have bike racks, places
That's
people
part of
can
being
walk
bicycle
up their
friendly,
bike.
right?
Yeah, I was going to say that would be part of the deal. So that's good planning. Now, are you a bicyclist? I assume
I am.
you are. So.
I like exploring the area, and I have certainly ridden a number of miles across the country researching bicycle tourism to see
You rode your bicycle across the country?
Yes.
Like from where to where?
from Eugene to Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow, that is across the country. That's a huge ride. Really? How long did that take?
It took me 80 days.
Around the country in 80 days with Heidi on her bicycle. You could probably write a book about that, couldn't you?
Kind of working on it.
So
Good,
that's why
good.
Heidi is our resident expert,
Yeah, I get it
because
now. That's-
she's really not only worked in the field, but she's done the rides herself
Yeah,
to know what she's
yeah.
looking for as a bicyclist and what's needed.
So what was one of the things that you noticed the most that is lacking in cities as far as what bicyclists need?
Well, there was actually one area that I thought did a really good job of providing what
Okay.
was lacking. So when I was riding through eastern Colorado, for example, it's very sparsely populated and there are not a lot of services, but the community members there really got around supporting the bicyclists that were coming through, and they made little maps that showed where in each community you could go to get Wi-Fi or water, the restaurants, the lodging.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
And then they had logbooks at all the places of business. So if I stopped at a convenience store or a restaurant, somebody was always saying, "Here, sign our logbook." And I started to have these conversations, it seemed, with the people on the route, people I had passed going one direction. I was like, "Oh yeah, they stopped here too." And
That's great.
it was really fun, and the people were so friendly that I went to dinner in one place and they said, "Oh, make sure you stop and talk to Jillian. She's the person to stay with tonight."
Wow. See, that's
And-
great. That's
and
how
make sure
find
you
out
have
about
enough
people.
water, because the grocery store isn't open until noon
Yeah.
on Sunday.
That makes perfect sense. Now, and out here, there is a lot of rural area. So that's, I mean, if you can get those people, the people in the rural areas really buying into it. So how's that response been?
Well, we're certainly working on it. I think for the most part, everybody is supportive and interested in it. Some places, people are a little more concerned about how does that actually work with their daily lives. So figuring out, what people's needs are in terms of the residents and what cyclists' needs are in terms of visitation, and looking at where the commonalities of the benefits are
So
to make that
we've done a lot of listening in this process to understand the community needs as well as the business side and the biker side. So we're looking at it in the big picture, because really we want it to benefit everyone all together. And part of what our goal is once we are able to populate more information online, is to help people understand, okay, this is a good ride for this thing. This is an area you might want to look out for. This is not good for children, or this is good, or
You'll find out more as you get feedback.
Yeah, and as we populate our site and put more information out there about our routes and what have you, we'll be able to do that. But we're certainly listening to the communities in which we're working. And I would say in our research process, we had over 56 organizations engage with us to give us feedback and to work with us in our fact finding. And we've had hundreds of people actually work with us, give us feedback. We have quite a large following of people who are looking for information going forward. So it wasn't just that we looked in one specific area. We really cast a broad net to do our research.
Well, you have, you're set up for success, because I think this is something that the region is ripe for. Did I not hear that you won some sort of award?
We did.
Around this?
Right. I'm a member of the Western Association of Chamber Executives, and we won their Core Competency Award, which awarded our program looking at it from the standpoint of promoting the community, economic development, connecting businesses and people, and that sort of thing. And we were one of 6 chambers in the Western states that was awarded this year. And part of why we got it was because they feel like it's a model program that other chambers should be using for economic development throughout the country.
Nice.
And there are about over 800 members of that organization. So we
Wow.
were really excited.
That's a big deal.
About our
Congratulations.
award.
Yeah, that's great. We're just about out of time. Heidi, any last thoughts about encouraging people to get out there and bicycle?
Well, it's certainly catch a nice day like today is a great time to go riding. For more information, we have a lot of resources on our project website.
And we'll put that information up on the screen so people want more information, or they can call you.
And I have to say, I am not a great bicyclist, and Heidi has gotten me to ride my bike, and it's been fun.
It's darn fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Because that's one of those
Yes.
things, they all say it's like riding a bicycle, you never forget.
Right.
All right, thanks so much, both of you. Thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully that'll spur you on to get out there this summer and the spring and enjoy our region here on your bicycle. Don't go away, we'll be right back with more of Community Hotline. All right.